Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's the Eradicator, and in this video we will talk about G.R.I.D Legends. There has been another video that was just released a couple of hours ago that's shown us some gameplay of what is going to come up here with the next installment of the G.R.I.D series. This is a video that's going to show us the single-player campaign, which is really fantastic. It's called Driven to Glory, a story mode with real actors and cutscenes that are going to make us truly immersed into the campaign. And let's have a look. Let's get started here, and I'll be on the commentaries at the same time. This is a long video, guys. It is 41 minutes long, so hey, hang on, and well, let's enjoy the show. I like what we're seeing here. Lots of different varieties of cars. Not so sure about the jumps here, but I guess it's a type of series that will be in the game, right? Vintage cars, prototypes, of course.
Welcome to the second G.R.I.D Legends showcase. I'm James Bralland, Social and Creator Manager on G.R.I.D Legends, and after last month's first look at the game, the team are delighted to be able to offer just a taste of what to expect from G.R.I.D Legends' thrilling story mode, Driven to Glory.
I love a good fight.
Before we get into some cutscenes and gameplay, here's G.R.I.D Creative Director Chris Smith to give you a little introduction on what to expect when the game launches.
People say it looks the same as the G.R.I.D from 2019.
Thanks, James.
I don't think it's
Driven
true.
to Glory is shot in a modern documentary style, blending mixed reality cutscenes, filmed using cutting-edge virtual production, and exciting gameplay. In this classic underdog tale, you take on the role of Driver 22.
So, I gotta say something here. I hate that name. Driver 22 is it's so cheesy. I don't understand why they haven't said the dialogues already. That they can easily reshoot the same scenes, just changing the name. You know, it can be Michael, George, Abdul, Haim, any type of name you want. They can do it 20, 30 times. But Driver 22, come on, that is the cringiest name ever in the campaign. They could have done better. So that's really something that I don't like. But I guess I can forget about it and just enjoy. If there's good gameplay and a good story mode, I guess that this is something that we can pass on.
On the G.R.I.D World Series, you've been hired as the second driver for struggling team Seneca Racing. Seneca haven't had great luck with number 2 drivers in the past, so pinning their hopes on a relatively untested driver like you is a bit of a gamble. But with a talented teammate like Yume Tanaka beside you, there's a real opportunity to make a name for yourself as a G.R.I.D legend.
Cheers, Chris. Throughout the story, you'll come across many characters, new and old, and if you're familiar with the name Raven West,
yes,
you'll definitely want to stick around
classic,
to the end.
a classic name
right
in a G.R.I.D series.
Scene and race at a brand new location,
the black cars.
London, where the story kicks off. Marcus Ado gives a little insight on how he became the team principal of Seneca Racing before you take on a rookie driver showcase event.
I like all those crashes, the damage system. Let's bring up here. All right, let's listen to.
My name's Marcus Ado, and I'm the team
Ado.
principal for Seneca Racing.
So he's going to be our boss.
Hey, gorgeous. No. We have that dinner with the board of directors tomorrow. Some people are born into racing. I had to work for it. My parents run a Nigerian restaurant in South London, and for them, success was never about fancy dishes or expensive ingredients. It was about believing in who they hired and always striving to grow. When I got a chance to run my own racing team, I took the same approach.
Money too.
That's a lot of great props that we're seeing here. I like backstories. There seems to have been made an effort, by the way, when it comes to developing characters.
Marcus Ado is something of a prodigy. He was only 25 when he convinced Seneca's board to start investing in unknown drivers and to hire him to run the team. He has the maturity of someone twice his age, and that's gained him enormous respect. The only problem is his approach hasn't worked. Last year, his number 2 driver set a record for the most last place finishes in a single season. This year's replacement performed so poorly in pre-season trials that he quit before the first race.
Not a lot of pressure at all.
Is it an embarrassment? No. You have to see the bigger picture. Finding a great recipe involves experimentation. Sure, we had a few rough years, but once we succeed, and I really believe we're going to, we may well become the best team on the grid.
But for now, what? Season starts in 3 days.
Confronted with reality.
Driver.
Guess I'll have to find a new driver.
Please make your way to your seats for this.
Always like that, right? It's only one more season. It's only one more year, right? And then boom, no more funding. So lots of pressure here on the team boss, and I like this kind of drama here that we're going to experience as the player. Looks like that is going to be here. We're gonna have to finish ahead of a player called Matteo Viga. Something that I like. Also, they bring this back from the old games and Risk Driver games as well, which are from the old Codemasters games from the early 2000s. You really had a story mode there with clear objectives, something that was lacking in the last G.R.I.D games and that I found really boring. And they are bringing this back here, a little bit of tension, a little bit of drama, objectives, and that's really something that I'm looking forward to experiencing again. One of my favorite racing games of all time is the G.R.I.D game from 2008, and I'm getting a lot of vibes from that game with what I'm seeing here. Alright, so we've already beaten Matteo Viga, or at least he has been taken over here, driving an Audi A4. Apparently we're going to have about 100 different cars in the game with various different types of vehicles, ranging from touring to single-seaters to trucks as well, that we're going to see a little bit later. And it's also going to be possible to race between different categories. So let's say you have a touring car with prototypes and maybe supercars as well, all together in one race. That's going to make a lot of fun, for sure. So it looks like we're looking also at a Subaru there in front, Subaru Impreza. So I like that they have also some real sponsors, like Kia, for example, which is a real company. It's not just fake as well.
Right, let's pick it up.
Oh, look at that, that yellow car here, just spam. That's also something that they've been working on from this game. The AI is not like totally perfect. It is going to make mistakes, it is going to spin out of control. It is going to have mechanical failures as well, which we're going to see a little bit later. It's always fun to see AI having mechanical failures, right? We just hope that it does not happen to us. Big fan of the interior view here. I'm always driving in a cockpit view. Oh, look at that very tough braking here from that Volkswagen Golf just in front. There's a Subaru here dead ahead. Jade Martin. I've seen a lot of female names here. Looks like they're trying to be inclusive and have like a 50-50. Why not? It's not, unfortunately, reflecting the real demographics of racing, but if it can inspire some people to enter the world of racing, why not? Anyway, let's keep on going here. It's the final lap. And that's going to be the very first race that we're going to have as a player in a single player story mode, happening in London. Now, I haven't lived in London, and I've lived in Paris for a couple of years, but I've been to London a few times, and I gotta say that this really looks like how the city is. It feels very realistic. Feels like we're really driving out there in the city, and it pretty seems that they have been spending a lot of time checking out, you know, how the streets look like. The markings on the ground as well look very realistic too. So kudos to them for taking the time to bring that level of realism here. Oh no, there's a contact here. No damage so far, but this can make the AI a little bit more aggressive with the Nemesis system that is coming back from the 2019 game.
Right.
And that's it.
I'll be shocked if it didn't catch Addo's eye.
Oh, Driver 22.
Following on from the driver showcase event in London, you discover Ado is on the lookout for a new driver and heads to London in his search. Looking for your first big break, you'll be competing in another rookie event in a Beltra open wheel. You'll need to impress Ado by finishing 8th or higher.
So that's going to be completely different, the way these vehicles drive. I remember having driven those vehicles in many Codemasters games, and there's a lot of understeering, to say the least. gotta be very careful with your brakes. They're very, very strong because these vehicles are extremely light. There's almost little to no room for error because they're also extremely fragile as well. They break a lot. I've broken a lot of wheels with those vehicles back in the old Grid games.
You heard that right. Ado is scouting a new driver for Seneca. This could be your break. You've got nothing to lose. Give it your best shot.
And if you're driving in manual mode as well, manual transmission, you are going to have to be very careful too, because it's very easy to destroy your clutch or destroy your transmission as well. We have a lot of mechanical failure with those cars. I like their liveries as well. They don't seem too plain or boring. Quite colorful, but not too overly colorful. A red car that we see, the Jimmy Estrada, looks almost like a Ferrari in terms of color, not the car, obviously. There you go, the AI not overly aggressive as well. But it doesn't feel like it's on red. You can see in front that they're trying to attack one another. That's great. Chong Ho Choi here, trying to make a move on Dimitros Varga, but he failed, unfortunately, and that's going to allow the player to try to overtake him. And, oh, look at that! Try to defend his position here. Oh, no. Yeah, they can be a little bit aggressive. That's great. That's what we want to see. A little bit of fight, a little bit of action. That's awesome. Now, one of the things that I didn't like in the Grid 2019 was that the cars felt like... did you see one of the cars had a mechanical failure and was on the side? In the Grid 2019 game, it felt like the cars were more like flying carpets. You didn't really feel the road at all. And this is something that, of course, I haven't tried this game yet, but some content creators have tried the game with the press versions. And they've said that this is something that apparently the devs have been working on and have tried to fix. Oh, lots of smoke there. Oh, someone blew up their engine here. Addison Campbell. Look at that. That is the end of the race for Addison Campbell. Boom. That's what I was talking about. It's so much fun. And when you are behind such a big plot of smoke, then you did see that visibility is not that great. So you never know if there's going to be an obstacle that's going to get in your way and maybe disrupt your race. So far, the player's objective is complete. They need to get all the way to 8th place, but they just made it to 2nd place. So it looks like Marcus Ado, the boss, is going to be very impressed and will hire the player. Is that the last lap? It is the last lap. Oh no, look at that! The AI just spammed, and this is going to give the opportunity for the player to lead the way here. It's going to be the last corner and the final straight for the victory. It brought back a little fireworks from Grid 2019, and boom!
Honestly, I don't think there's any way Ado could ignore your performance today. I've got a feeling you'll be having some very interesting discussions. Congratulations.
What an amazing race we've just seen. Some genuine talent out there down on track.
Fast forwarding a little in the story, you're introduced to your first true rival, Volt Racing's Valentin Manzi, played by the supremely talented G.R.I.D. Volts are a great team that typically outperforms Seneca on the track. So as his rival, naturally your objective for this event is to finish ahead of him whilst driving stadium trucks in Paris.
That's gonna be fun. Oh, there he is. That's the first rival.
I hope I don't say anything stupid. Don't record anything stupid, yeah? What's your name? Tom. Tom. Lovely to meet you, Tom. You're right, dear? Tom? Okay, let's get this started. Hi, I'm Valentin Manzi, and I'm a 10-time Grid World Champion. I'm just kidding. I've never actually won. I've come close, though.
Looks like there's something behind. It looks like he's pissed. There's something behind that smile. I like the play here of the actor. He looks quite charismatic. I think it's a good choice again. I like the actors that they've chosen for the game, so you know that also makes some sense. You know, bring some actual talent They're not A-listers, obviously, but pretty promising. I think there's also a there is like a B-lister from Hollywood. I forgot which series he was on. It was not this guy, was he? Anyway, boom. Look at that. We are in Paris here. Maybe it was this guy. Oh, I forgot. I'm not familiar with this series. Now, what I like here, there are things that I'm not a big fan of, because this game was not entirely a simulation game. There are some arcadey part like this, you know, jumping over obstacles. But again, it makes sense because these are trucks with, you know, crazy suspensions. So these kind of events could eventually happen. Is there like a bonus? I'm not even sure there's an advantage to doing that or not. Maybe you get some extra green points. But what I like here is the fidelity of Paris. I have driven on the streets of Paris for 13 years. I lived in Paris for 13 years, and I have driven countless times. I know pretty much all of the streets of Paris at this point, and I can exactly tell where we are in Paris. Then we're gonna go down to the Seine River again. There we go, and this is going to be the bridge that leads to the Eiffel Tower. We'll go on the Quai de Seine again, and we'll be driving all the way until the Pont de l'Alma. Avenue de la Bourbonnais, there really is a museum there. This is really how it looks like. The Musée du Quai Branly, they have recreated here on the right side.
I think you may have upset them.
And there's the Pont de l'Alma. Under that tunnel, under that bridge is the tunnel where Lady Diana died, by the way. If you keep going straight, you'll have Avenue Georges V, which is going to the Champs-Élysées. Everything has been faithfully recreated, except maybe not the tunnel. The tunnels are not this broad. But I suppose that they had no choice. They probably had to make a broader tunnel for the sake of the game. Now, if I remember, Paris was already in G.R.I.D 2, if I am correct. And not looking a little bit similar, but there's definitely been some improvements. So that's awesome here. And again, it's part of that sense of immersion and fidelity. They want the game to feel believable. And in order to do that, you have to recreate those real-world locations as faithfully as possible. And again, having lived in Paris for 13 years now, I don't live there anymore, in Taipei, Taiwan now, but being a former citizen of Paris, the city of Paris, I can testify that this is looking very, very, very nice and very realistic. So kudos here to the devs at Codemasters for making this effort. Loving here the interior view. Not every G.R.I.D game has an interior view, but there's probably been some demand that they've probably listened to some fan. It's not the most popular view, the cockpit view, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm a big fan of immersion. I really want to believe that I am a real person in the game that's really doing what is being done on screen, and so that's why I always favor the first-person views or the cockpit views in a racing game. I like how different it feels compared to the previous cockpit views that we've had. It feels very 1980s, with a very flimsy, old-fashioned 1980s wheel. It's so much fun. Speaking of wheel, I am going to buy a wheel for this game. It's also going to be for Forza Horizon 5. We're starting from, oh, did you see that takedown here on the side? That purple car just went on its roof. So in February, I'll be streaming on a regular basis on Twitch. And I know that you guys don't like it when I'm streaming with mouse and keyboard. Some of you guys said that it makes you dizzy, so that's the reason why I will be getting a proper wheel, finally, after all these years, so that you'll be able to enjoy all that gameplay without necessarily having a sense of nausea. Oh! Now, is it compulsory? I have a feeling that those air times here, that air is making the car slowing down a little bit. So I wonder what are the drawbacks, the advantages and the drawbacks of taking those jumps. Anyway, these are going to be the last two turns here. Coming up down there. Oh, and we are going to go down to the same river again. And here we go. It's the end. Oh no, it's the final lap. Oh, my bad. There are 5 laps. I thought there was 4. Oh, almost had an accident here. So far, no nemesis. I like it that we get to see where I was gonna say the co-pilot, the teammate here, so we can see here that Yume Tanaka is at the 8th place. Gives us a good little indication here as of how we are doing in the race. It's always good to beat your teammate. As friendly and awesome your teammates are, you still want to be number 1, just in case things go a little bit sour, right? Oh yeah, we can see the grid points. Oh no! Oh, that was bad. Looks like the player here was the player. Yeah. Oh no! Back to 2nd place. Seems like Yumi Tanaka also lost some points. Now, in Formula 1, in F1 2020, you can have an unlimited amount of replays. Replays R. And you just play again. It seems like the 3 that we see under Yumi Tanaka is the amount of replays that you can have to redo again, and it seems that they are limited here. So only 3, which I think is a good thing because it feels a little bit cheesy if like you're cheating. Like if you have too many chances to try again. At some point you have to own.
As you can probably tell, Grid Legends is full to the brim with a wide variety of cars, classes,
electric
and
cars
event
here.
types. There are over 100 hand-picked vehicles to unlock and drive at launch, and as you advance further into Driven to Glory, you'll get to grips with some of these incredible machines. After being introduced to Seneca Racing lead engineer Ajit Singh in the very next event, you'll need to take a Ford GT Heritage Edition through a multi-class field to finish in the top half on the streets of Chicago.
My name is Ajit Singh.
Alright, we're going to meet more characters here.
Engineer. Is that okay?
I like how the actor seems very shy. Not everybody's outgoing. Some people are shy, and some people want to avoid cameras. Seems like this character
Mark III, but
is
with a few upgrades.
this kind of person.
Full electric drive, active suspension, repositioned fuel cells. Look, you can see most of the weight is down here in the chassis. And this one, this is an old friend from last season, Jupiter San Marino. I got this job by betting Marcus Addo I could make an old Eagle Ray Mark IV run faster than the Type 8. And I did it in under a week. Now I work on anything with an engine and a roll cage. Touring cars, muscle cars, open wheel. If it's grid legal, I can build it to win. Challenge is finding someone who can drive them all.
Yeah, and that's where we come in, of course. Chicago! This is also a map that comes from the last game, G.R.I.D 2019. Now in G.R.I.D you have a lot of maps or circuits in cities. San Francisco is a classic from the first game, but this is also a pretty good one. I like that you get to go under the metro. Now, these are buildings that I've never seen before, maybe construction buildings. It seems that they're also updating the tracks as the city evolves too. Oh, Valentin Manzi is the nemesis here, if you remember. He is that guy from that rival team, and obviously he needs to be beaten. This time driving a Ford GT in a multi-class race, so that means they're gonna find, you can see there's a BMW, a vintage BMW M3 just ahead. Obviously that BMW is not going to be as fast as the Ford GT. Very easily overtaken, as you can see. I really wonder what that icon is. Oh, looks like a car just there spun out of control. I think that the cars mean that they are not of the same class. It's probably that. Audi A4, but not the modern ones. These are older Audi A4s, older generations. Oh, there's a, did you see that? That was a Renault Laguna Mark I that spun out of control. It's crazy. I think that's the very first time I'm seeing a Renault Laguna in a video game. This is like the most, normally, the Renault Laguna is like one of the most boring cars ever. When I was a kid, I grew up I grew up in France as a little kid until I was a teenager. You had Renault Lagunas everywhere. They were as common as a Ford Mondeo, you know. Today there's another one just there in purple. You can recognize them, especially with the round shape and the backlights, very typical. Was that a Citroën Xentia as well? I like that some of the cars are, you know, I wouldn't say crazy, but not your typical cars that you would expect in a video game. What is that car over there in orange? I'm pretty sure it's a Citroën Xentia. It looks like one. Oh my gosh, it is. This is insane. Yeah, it is a Citroën Xentia. Oh my gosh. Well, I guess we'll have a better look as we take over. Yeah, boom. Totally. It's easy to recognize because of the wedge-shaped design of the car. Very typical of Citroën in the 1990s. Now the car definitely feels like it has more grip and it's not driving on eggs. You see what I mean? I really like this kind of improvement. There's our partner right here. She's number one, not for long. Looks like Manzi is in third place. I didn't see what kind of car he was driving, unfortunately. Well, apparently Yumi Tanaka is a driving legend, so it's not going to be easy to beat her, or at least take over her. Yeah, that's what I remember from the older Green games, driving under the tunnels like that, which in some tracks in Chicago can be quite of a hazard. Oh, there's the final lap. That's a beautiful, modern-looking interior here in a Ford GT. I'm gonna have a last lap here. These are miles per hour. I wish that the demo was in kilometers per hour because I'm not really familiar. Whoa, that was a nice little recovery here from the demo driver. And there is going to be a nice little straight before another 90 degrees angle. A little chicane there. Left, right. Yeah, you gotta take some of those corners really slowly. And the final straight, it's another victory. Boom. A victory for driver 22. That's crazy.
There's some spectacular weather available in Grid Legends, including snow and thunderstorms. No matter what conditions they're racing in, teams can fall apart if they're reliant on just one driver. So in the event named Thunder Down Under, you'll need to work with Yume to beat Volts Racing on Mount Panorama's tarmac.
This is such a legendary track. Which has always been in Race Driver and G.R.I.D as well. So what are we driving this time? Oh, this looks like a Renault from the... Oh yeah, it's the Renault Laguna. Oh, that was not a Citroën Xentia. It was an Alfa Romeo. I just looked at the logo there. Yeah, it's a 156. Sorry, my bad. Some of you guys in the comments would have already... Oh, this guy sucks. He knows nothing about cars. It's not a Xentia. It's a 156. Okay, my bad. I just saw it here. But at least this time I was right about the Renault Laguna. It really is one. Now, I'm glad that under these kind of weather conditions, and that is actually quite a narrow track as well, I'm glad that we are driving a slow car like a Renault Laguna, because if we had been driving that Ford GT, it would have been extremely difficult. So it's probably one of those early events where the players are still not that familiar with the game and not that skilled. And still, oh, did you see that Laguna spinning out of control here at that turn? Oh, there's a Mercedes-Benz E190, another classic of the late 80s. You saw a lot in DTM, Deutsches Tourismusmeisterschaft, which which is you know, the German Touring Car Championship. You have a lot of those classic German cars in there. Mount Panorama is one of my favorite all-time racetracks. I would love if one day Formula One could go there. There was a showcase one day with Jason Button driving a McLaren. Ah, there are the chicanes here before that tight turn. It's going to come very soon. Oh, it's not now. Oh, it should be after. Ah, here. Here's that tight turn right here, and that's going to be the super long straight. You gotta be really careful because they can waste a lot of time. And then, boom. It's going to be full throttle until it's going to be a right turn further down the line. Usually it's a good chance for those cars to hit top speed. Yeah, it looks like top speed for the Laguna is 140-ish. 150 miles per hour. And there's another left-right. Very, very tricky. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, the demo player almost went into the grass. I've been there so many times. Valentin Manzi, charismatic pilot we saw a little bit earlier, just dead ahead. And that's the final turn. It looks like our rival here lost his trunk. Look at that. There's no trunk. Must have been hit in the back by another car.
Going into lap 2.
Oh, this was pretty bad. Luckily, it's a Renault Laguna, so it can still go a little bit. Oh, did you see that the rival here pushed the car on the side? Yeah, they can be quite aggressive. Now, some people, when I watched this video that was during the premiere, and obviously there was the chat, some people were complaining about the music, and I do agree that the music is very annoying. When I will be live streaming this game, I promise you guys that... Oh, goodness. I promise you guys that I will definitely be turning off the music, because, yeah, it's always the same on the loop, basically. They should have done a better effort. Okay, there's another Renault Laguna just dead ahead. ODA 4. Yeah, the weather is definitely dramatic, chaotic. And it's not going to be easy to be driving those cars under this kind of condition. I'm sure you're going to have some assists. Looks like this demo here has a lot of assists. You can see the lines and probably braking, probably to make the game looks as smooth as possible and so that the demo player doesn't make so many mistakes. But in grid games, just like in Formula 1 games, you can disable those assists to make the game a little bit more simulation-ish. So don't worry about that. If this feels a little bit too arcadey, there are options to make it feel more like a simulation. G.R.I.D has always been like that, just like Codemasters race drivers before. There we go, 151, 152, and it's the final chicane here before the final turn. Looks like our teammate Yuki Tanaka is number 1. Are we going to let her win? I think that you know, it's good to be a gentleman, to not make her angry. She deserves her moment of glory as well. There we go. A good team victory is more important than satisfying your ego. Oh, it's not finished. It's the last lap. Oh. Come on, dude. Let her win. Oh no. Well, at least she's not crashing into her car. Maybe she did let us pass. I love the light effects. Look at the mirror. That looks pretty sleek, right? I think that... Look at that whimsy wiper here on the Renault. It doesn't do anything. Oh, the immersion in the cockpit view. That's where we're glad that we only had 3 laps. Because if this had been more, some people would have a heart attack. each turn. The danger can come at each turn, even a straight actually. You could be driving into a big puddle of water. You can be changing the direction of your car. You're gonna have to reverse course with your wheel. Something that happens when you play Formula 1, for example. Absolutely love the cockpit view. Yeah, I don't remember such dramatic rain races in pre-2019. They've really done a good job here, the developers, to enhance those rain effects. Yeah, that chicane's always very tricky. Plus, you know, you are so close to the edge of the track, it's super easy to damage your direction because you would have crashed into one of those concrete barriers. Don't crash your car here. That's the big straight, the end of the track. It keeps getting darker and darker. Yeah, visibility is so bad that you have to really rely on cues like signs on the side of the road. And here they are being assisted by the line here on the side, but of course, can you imagine how it's gonna be if you actually turn off that option? Oh no! Oh, Valentin Menzi here! Oh no, we need to beat him. That's not okay. Oh, it's the final straight. Oh, this was really close. And here comes the victory. It's a 1-3, it looks like. That was intense.
Finally, what would a grid game be without Raven West? There's no doubting the talent of the Mccains on track throughout the years, but are things quite as they seem this time around? Our final event takes place just before Seneca qualifies for the Pro Series. It's time to learn Japan's iconic Suzuka circuit in a car made for racing, the Honda NSX GT.
Oh yeah.
How long is it gonna take? Just word for me. Sorry, Dave.
Look at that, number one. That guy is a champion.
Mccain interview, take one.
Who's that guy? You seen this new lobster place down the road? You gotta choose which one you kill. You go to this big, like, box where they're all in. It's all blue and gnarly, and you're like, I want to kill that guy. Do I kill it? No, I'm not an animal. Okay, let's get going.
Okay. Do you want to say your name and introduce yourself?
They know who I am. Hi, I'm Nathan Mccain, 5-time Grid Series world champion. Soon to be 6 times, and that's a new record.
Yo, yo, yo.
I guess you don't know, Nathan Mccain is the toughest driver in all of the Grid games. He's always the guy who wins the races if you don't win them.
Hey. Get to second place if you can, but you stay behind Nate. Am I clear? Yes?
Fine. Whatever.
Hey, my favorite nephew. So what's with the camera crew?
I don't know. We're making some kind of documentary about the Grid.
Actually, it's about Seneca.
Oh, wow. I think I'd rather eat my own face.
Yeah, looks like our team Seneca doesn't have the highest of reputations. So here, complete 1 lap. I guess that this is some kind of qualifiers, maybe? Oh.
All right, 22. Big day tomorrow. Start of a new season, and I'll move into the Pro Series. So let's get a practice in before you race for real.
Now, I don't think that I have ever seen Suzuka in a Grid game. Or maybe it was the last one, but I didn't get there. But in the original Grids, it definitely was not.
Our strategy is to bed in. We aren't aiming for Raven West yet. We build up the pressure.
But it makes sense for Codemasters to be using those tracks because they already have those tracks from the Formula 1 games. So it's already a lot of assets that they already have from those previous games that they can't use. They're using the same engine as the Formula 1 games, so it definitely makes sense that they're using the same tracks. If they can. Now, of course, they are the licensing's right, obviously. To be able to license those tracks for the games, but I suppose that the licensing rights are for the studios, not necessarily the game themselves. Now, I think that one of the advantages of Codemasters being bought by EA is that EA has some kind of exclusivity rights for some manufacturers, if I'm correct, or they used to. I remember in the past they used to have an exclusivity with Porsche, for example, Porsche.
Your mate had some very positive things to say about you. Trust me, she doesn't say it if she doesn't mean it.
So if they still have some exclusivity with some manufacturers, then it means that we're going to benefit from those in this game. So that's a good thing.
Opportunities to draft here. Get in close, get the toe, then slingshot past.
Alright, here's the last chicane.
Limits here. It's so easy to get a time penalty by going over or cutting a corner.
Now, I don't think we're gonna actually get time penalty. I've never had penalties in Grid because of cutting corners, but maybe that's a new feature in this game. Alright, first, best score.
We don't want to give too much away, so we'll leave it there for now. Thanks so much for joining us for this sample of what to expect in Grid Legends when it launches in just a few weeks' time. Grid Legends is all about fun, exciting, and action-packed racing. Whether you're playing by yourself against the unpredictable AI or hopping into your friends' career events through cross-platform multiplayer. We'll have more to share about that before launch.
That is
Grid Legends
awesome.
releases on February 25th for Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. To learn more about the game, including car lists, locations, race creator, and how you can pre-order now, just head to gridgame.com. We can't wait to see you on the track.
Really?
Until next time,
the car
goodbye
list?
for now.
Gridgame.com. Can we do that? Let's have a look. So, there it is, gridgame.com. Can we actually see the car list? I don't think so. Oh, here. Grid Legends car list hub, cars and classes revealed. How did I not know that? Well, let's have a look here. So we're going to have touring cars, drift cars, trucks, specials, which are going to be rare machines in unforgettable racing, including fun cars like the Volkswagen Cup car, electric, open wheel, tuner, track day, as well like the Shelby Cobra, GT, and Grid Legends car list. So, oh wow, that is a so far. So this is actually not a full list. Let's have a look at what they have here. Ariel Atom, Aston Martin Valkyrie, a couple of Aston Martins, obviously. Audi A4 Quattro that we saw, Audi RS3 LMS, Audi R8, yes. Beltra Enduro 24T, so that's probably for endurance, obviously. A couple of Beltras there. Brabham BT62, which is a nice little car. It's a hypercar, but it's going to be very enjoyable to drive. The Corvette, obviously. Dumont Colossus, I have no idea. These are probably some of the trucks. Ford Focus TC2, some Ginetta. There should be the Ford GT that we saw also, right? Jaguar I-Pace e-Trophy. So that's like an electric type of crossover. Jupiter Formula. So Jupiter, I think it's not a real type. It's not a real type of car, but they use them for some series in Grid. Some Koenigsegg. Some I love. There's the Lotus Gt1. That is awesome. It's one of my favorite cars. It's like a modified Lotus Elise from the mid-1990s. It was actually in Need for Speed 2. Mazda 787B. That is an iconic car with a rotary engine that actually won the 24 hours of Le Mans. Mazda RX-7, Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution Drift. Are we going to have, I don't think we're going to have Rally, but we're definitely going to have Drift. Pagani Zonda, Panos Esperante, again that's probably for endurance or GT, Porsche 911 GT, Porsche 962C, Renault Clio Cup, love this car. And there's the Shelby, Subaru, Volkswagen Cup car, and Volkswagen GTI. Yeah, some of the cars are fictional here. There we go, right? The Jupiter are fictional. And here are the Dumont as well, exactly, and the Beltras too. Just like I did say there, so that's why if you don't know those cars are just made for the purpose of the game. This list of cars is obviously going to be added here, so more confirmed cars will be added to this list, including some of the cars that we saw, like for example the Alfa Romeo 156 or the Renault Laguna or the Ford GT. Anyway guys, that is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait for Grid Legends. I think that Grid is back, guys. If you're looking for that old school experience where it's not just about racing but everything that's around it as well, the drama, it's going to return and I can't wait for it. I will heavily be featuring it on this channel. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day. It's the Eradicator. I'll see you guys later. A huge shout out to everyone who's been helping me out on Patreon and via the YouTube Join membership program. Creating content on YouTube involves continuous circles of ups and downs, and it is when we are the lower parts of the curve that your help really motivates me to keep on going. Your contribution really does make a difference, which is why in return I try to give back by offering backers access to my private Discord channel, automatic access to exclusive giveaways, or answering your questions during the show. You can help me out with as little as $1 a month, and any help is greatly appreciated. Thank you very much for watching again. This is the Eradicator. I'll see you guys later.